Hey guys, it's Cassie and Crystal. We are back again after a bit of a hiatus. We'll
Tell
just be
my
chit chat.
family to stop getting sick and we won't take hiatuses.
Yes, it is all Crystal's fault. Completely. I had nothing to do with it.
Uh-huh, sure. The frame rate. So bad, Cassie. Come on, you can do it, Kim. You can do it. I know you can. It's going so slow. Oh my god. Alright. So, what's been up with you?
Um, besides just trying to maintain the exercise regimen, nothing too exciting, and I don't even know if it's exciting.
Okay, I tried to exercise in the dark today because my garage, it has lights on it, but it's timered. So, when it's timed, it goes out like after 5 minutes. And so I'm walking, and just all of a sudden the light goes out, and it freaks me out so much that I fell off.
We're supposed to be exercising to lose weight, not to go to the hospital. Just putting that out there.
I'm not particularly wanting to go to the hospital. I was already there today.
Oh gosh, why?
No, Peyton had to get a CAT scan for his
Oh.
sinuses. I tell you, tell my family to stop getting sick and we'll be fine.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, supposedly he's had a sinus infection for like 2 years now.
Oh.
Right?
That's a bit, that's long. I don't know where to put that. That's long
Well,
for.
when he first got it, it was just he lost his sense of smell. So we didn't think anything of it. We were like, okay, you lost your sense of smell. It could be something serious, but at the time we didn't have insurance, so we were like, okay, whatever. Um, so we just kind of ignored it, and then since November he's lost his voice, and after he lost his voice, we were like, okay, we'll go to the doctor and talk about it, and the doctor referred us to an ENT, and the ENT supposedly, when he went to this appointment, I wasn't there, but when he went to this appointment, the ENT like took one look at his sinuses and was like, you need a CAT scan. Like, it's bad.
Yeah. Let's not put off doctor's appointments for any length of time anymore. Can we make that like a thing?
Well, it's like you and Holly. Like, you were telling me not long ago that you and Holly hate going to the doctor for yourselves, but if it's for the other person, you're fine. That's the way we are.
Yeah, I can understand that. See, I mean, I try to be semi-reasonable about it. Like, if I know there's something serious, or it could be something serious, I try to be, at least somewhat giving on that point. But yeah, I'm not exactly the most, I won't be a hypocrite to the point where I'll say I don't ever put up a fight, because I do.
Oh, we all put up a fight. The only reason I go to the doctor is for the kids anymore. Like, if I get super sick, I go because I gotta take care of the kids. But other than that, I sleep in bed for like 24 hours and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you about that time that I slept for 48 hours straight?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had strep throat one time, and it was when we were living down in southern Illinois again. And I got so sick that I just slept for 48 hours. Like, I got up to eat Dairy Queen once, I think, and then that was it. I was out for 48 hours.
Wow. Yeah, that, wow.
Yeah.
I've gotten sick to the point where I sleep for long stretches of time. I think the most recent one though was like several years ago, but I ended up with the swine flu the one year that was really, really, really bad.
Really?
Yeah. And my mom is infamous for if you don't have a fever and you're not throwing up, you go to school. The only exception to that rule is if you are doing completely well in school, like all A's, and you haven't taken a day off for being sick, and in that quarter, for that like quarter of the school year, I think like our quarters were like a 9-week period, and you didn't have any tests that day. That was like a bonus day mom would give us if we were doing well. So we couldn't play the whole I just don't feel good, or just like being moderately sick. You had to be really, really, really sick to be off school. I don't remember her even attempting to wake me up, although I think she claimed she did. But it was so bad, I didn't even stir. I don't remember her trying to wake me up, and I found out later she said she had tried to wake me up. But yeah, pretty much she let me sleep in, and then like once I was awake, she took me to the hospital. She's like, you need checked out. I don't know how bad this is, but you need checked out. I came home from school that day and just went to bed. So I was in bed from the time I'd gotten home from school about 2:15, 2:30, and I slept straight through to like the next day at about 2.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I didn't mean to scare her, obviously, but she didn't even try to wake me up.
Oh,
so
your mom needs a scare every once in a while. It's good for us.
It's good for you guys. See, I was always told that it was what caused her to go gray. I was always told it was a bad thing.
My mom always told me that too, and she started turning gray way before I was born.
Good to know. I'm so glad I now know this. It's like, I feel I've missed out on several years of fun.
I'm actually just messing with you, my mom. I definitely stressed my mom out.
No, I think though that you're right. Like, I think there is a little bit of a level of, you guys you've got to, earn those Mother Day cards.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm a bad mother when it comes to sick days with the kids, because like with James in preschool, if he's even mildly sick, I keep him home because I don't want him getting other kids sick.
That I can agree with, though. I mean, he's at they're at ages where a little cold can turn into something kind of serious rather quickly. They're not completely, immune to everything, and they haven't had time to build up the same levels of endurance an adult would have.
Right. But
so,
like, even yesterday, the funniest story, James didn't have school like Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, because Monday was parent-teacher conference. And so, it was one of those times where he got out of his bedtime ritual. He was staying up a little bit later than what we normally do. And me and Peyton were up a little bit later because we don't go to bed until James is fully asleep.
Right.
And so we wake up at 7 like we normally do from the Kindle going off the alarm clock. And Peyton just gets up and he does his normal stuff and lets me sleep. And at like 8 o'clock I woke up and I said, why isn't James at school right now? And he's like, what? And I'm like, it's Tuesday. Why isn't James at school yet? And he's like, I thought it was the weekend. It was the greatest thing. So I was like, okay, I had to take my mom to the hospital yesterday for a procedure, and I had to leave like right when James got out of school. So I was like, you know what? We don't ever do this, so let me go ahead and just call James into school today, and we'll go out to breakfast, and then me and him will go and see Grandma and take her to her procedure. And so he got a free day off school yesterday because Dad let him sleep in.
That works.
Yep.
I would appreciate having a day off school that wasn't, like, my fault because I slept in too late. I was bad when I was younger. Like, I mean, it wasn't like I intentionally stayed up late or anything either. Honestly, most of my peers would sit there and brag about being up till like 4 a.m. and I was typically in bed and usually asleep no later than 2. So I felt like I was a decently behaved kid, but every time I was late, it was always inevitably my fault. Like, there was no one else that would even remotely accept any sort of responsibility for me being late. So, taught me some independence, but it was also kind of a pain in the butt.
When I was in high school, my dad never woke me up for school. In fact, my dad at the time was just on disability, so he wasn't employed. And so he would be sleeping, and I would have to be up at 7:30 and go to school. And my grandma, who I lived with at the time as well, she lived upstairs, so she wouldn't come downstairs and wake me up. But I was like, man, um, when I had to wake up, I would turn the alarm on snooze and then have to hit it like 5 times before I got up. There were a number of times where I would just sleep through the alarm clock and then be like almost 5 minutes late for the bus coming.
Right. Yeah. And there was one time, and this is completely and totally my dad's fault, and he'll never own up to it, but it was totally his fault. We know how he is.
Yeah.
I am strategically planning my vacation around his visitation time, okay?
Right.
If that gives you any indication. He was not satisfied. He gave us morning chores, which it's already a pain in the butt to get up in the morning anyway, but
Right.
morning chores are, to me, a totally stupid concept. As a parent, you don't want to have to be up anyway, and nor do you want to have to sit there and monitor a kid doing a chore. So, to me, it was stupid, but...
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, but go on.
So he was not satisfied at all with the job I had done. And mind you, it really wasn't too big of a chore, to be honest. To be fair, I had to sweep the kitchen and then wipe off the dining room table, which, okay, it doesn't really seem like a big deal. He was so picky that day. He found like 2 little things of dirt in a corner that had probably been there, I would say, like at least a week. I was not doing that thorough of a job for that long. I was just getting it done. And he was so picky that day, he went and found every speck of dust, sat there lecturing me. I go to walk to the bus stop, he stops me, wouldn't let me leave, and then gets mad at me because he has to walk into the building to sign me in because I was late.
Well, that would be your fault, sir. Hate to tell ya.
Right? It was just one of those moments I'm just like, okay, seriously? I'm tried to leave and go to my bus stop, and you stop me, and then you get mad at me. How does that make any sense? Oh, wait, I forgot. It didn't have to be. It didn't have to make sense. It just had to work for him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, has your mom finally told you when the kids are going to be at his house, or...
No. I pretty much I pretty much said, here are the dates I'm thinking of. I'm not necessarily telling her you have to have them home at this time, but if she doesn't have them, I will just quite literally drive up to Theo's, honk, and say, get the kids out here. I'm done playing Mrs. Nice Person. I really don't want to have to deal with him, so... But I do want to see my siblings, and I know my siblings want to see me. I mean, there's just no
effort from the adults in this situation.
Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it. And I know that's probably just my illusion because I don't exactly see what's going on, but I'm sure Mom has at least reached out, if nothing else. I'm sure she's at least reached out and attempted something. I'm not entirely sure how much of an effort though is being made, and that's my problem. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to plan a vacation to come see you, which they have been complaining about for months, me not seeing them.
Of course they have.
They can complain about it, but when I finally say, oh, hey, I have time off that I could get, I need an answer kind of semi-quickly because of the way our, employment works. I do need to kind of plan in advance. It would be nice for them to know at least a good... I'm asking for a week, so it'd be nice for them to know at least 6 months in advance, if possible, but, barring that, at least a 3-month period that I can have it in the calendar and there, that way I know I have that time, would be awesome.
That's why you need to come up to my level. We can do it differently up in my level.
I've noticed that, and you know what, I'm gonna say this, I am incredibly jealous of the fact that I have literally seen people go from being at work to emailing their people and being like, by the way, I'm going to take a few days off.
Well, I've had to do that a couple times because the kids were sick, and I had to email my manager and my team and say, look, I have a family emergency. I have to go on FMLA for a couple of days. I will see you back on Christmas Day.
See, though, I can understand, FMLA, but, just PTO.
Yeah. I can't explain how it works, but it's really nice. It's a really good benefit of the position.
And you've got me sitting here going, really?
Yeah.
Once!
Come on. You know, we would love to have you on my level, girl. You would be good at it.
And it's not like I haven't tried. I mean, I might not be like 110%. I put in for it when it comes out. I'll put it like that. I'm not necessarily pestering management going, when's the next application coming out? But I'm not sitting back on my butt either.
When I was trying to go for the position, I did everything. Like, if you ever ask Chris about how I went for the position, he'll tell you some interesting stories.
She was all up in the supervisor's business, bugging him on lunch break.
Oh, you know
she would call them on their personal phones after work hours.
I didn't go that far, but I went pretty far with it. I was all over it. I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I got so bored in the position I was in. I was like, I can't do this anymore. You guys got to give me something else.
And I won't say that the position that I'm in is bad by any means. I get great benefits with it, but to be able to have the ability to say, I don't know exactly what day would be the best for my vacation. Can I have 30 days to figure that out? But by the time I wait another 30 days, first of all, I'm going on a trip the end of this month, so I'll be gone that week. I don't really plan to have too much to do with Facebook or phone calls or anything of that during that week. I'm going to be coming back doing doctor eye appointments, dental appointments, cat spay and shots. It's like at the point of, I don't really have all day to just wait for an answer. I need to know.
Well, honestly, even with my position, when we take a more than a couple of days off, we definitely have to plan in advance, because unless it's FMLA, we have to make sure our teams are covered. So,
which I don't blame you. I mean, that to me that's fair for the teams too, though. I mean, I look at it from a standpoint of one of the underlings, so to speak. I would want to know when my supervisor's going to be around and when they're going to be out.
I agree completely.
And I guess that was one of my problems. I won't say I was upset about it, but I did have supervisors in the past who would just take time off, and I would hear nothing. It was just like, oh, well, I'm gone. Oh, yeah,
that.
Okay.
I went 2 months without a supervisor once because she was sick, and I respect that she was sick, but the other person in charge should have kind of told me, hey, this person's going to be out, and this is what you're going to be doing during this time.
Right. I feel like as employees, we have at least a right to feel like we're being communicated with. I don't necessarily need to know exactly what's going on. Like, okay, if it's a personal situation or a diagnosis, that I don't need to know that. Just tell me, oh, hey, I'm going to be gone. This is when I expect to be back. Here's who your point of contact is. Right. Just something of that nature. I'm fine. I'm like, that to me is fine, as long as I know what I'm doing, because I as an underling, there are some things I have to go to a supervisor for. That's just how it is.
And that's why I like that I'm one now, because people like you or Holly, for instance, if your supervisor is ever gone and there's a situation where you do need a supervisor immediately, like we almost work the same hours, or you know how to contact me otherwise, so.
Right.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna... I've been arguing with myself about getting a cell phone, because, like, the price of a cell phone is way too expensive, even prepaid. Like, $35 for one is just out of bounds. So it's really hard for me to justify getting one, but then I'm like, okay, there's all these people that are relying on me and do intermittently need to contact me while I'm not at work. So is it good for me? Yeah, or even if, like, yesterday, when I had to go over to St. Louis for my mom, if Peyton had needed me with the baby, then he had no way to contact me. Or the procedure
Yeah.
that she was going through was 2 hours. I could have left the hospital, kept James happy for a little bit, and then came back after she called me when she was done.
Right.
So I'm so back and forth on buying one for that reason, but I'm also like, okay, I need it in some ways, and some ways I don't. So, any thought process on that?
There's one plan that I know of. Give me just a second. I'm gonna research this before I open my mouth because I don't want to tell you the wrong group.
I'll just be
There
sitting
is
over
one
here killing
though.
bats.
Killing bats.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I'm playing Binding of Isaac, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And
I was like, wait, what?
One of the enemies on here are bats, and when they get close to you, they like speed up to twice their speed and terrify. They're one of the most terrifying enemies in this game, and this is a game that's pretty terrifying if you think about it.
Okay, that I like. Okay, I found it through AT&T at the moment, although I think Verizon may have something similar. It's AT&T that I did it through. They have a cell phone that it's just like a normal little flip phone, to be honest with you. But the benefit of it is it does talk and text, but it doesn't need like a data plan like a smartphone.
Yeah.
However, you only pay $2 a day only on the days you use it.
Really?
So let's say you have to take the phone out because Peyton's at the house. If he has to call you, you would pay the $2, but you could use it the entire day to make as many phone calls, as many texts as you want to, and it would only be that one $2 fee. If you don't have to use it, if he doesn't call you or one of your agents doesn't call you, you don't pay that $2 a day.
That's interesting.
And I actually did a search based on your area, so I know it's available for your zip. But that's how
you know where I live. I love you too.
I've sent you hot chocolate.
Ooh, yummy.
Multiple things of hot chocolate, actually.
Can I have?
I don't actually. I haven't actually recently looked at the shipping on that. I'm kind of curious, actually.
I got shipping on one of your presents today, and it should be there anywhere between February 7th and March 17th.
That is so detailed and specific.
I bought Peyton a present, and because he's gonna watch this video, I can't tell what the present is. But it's coming from China, and
oh wow,
yeah, it's personalized, so it's detailed for him. And with that present, I said, okay, even though Valentine's Day is on the 14th. You may or may not get your present by then.
Yeah. That, to me, I'm one of those people that I don't need it on Valentine's Day. For instance, our outing today with me and Holly, that was considered Valentine's for her portion. Basically, one day I asked her, what do you want for Valentine's Day? And she's just like, oh, I want to go out, just go out to eat.
Yep.
I will say I actually had a really good time. She took me to Burlington Coat Factory to get some clothing. Obviously we need some, summer stuff because we're going to Florida, so it would be kind of nice to have something that's, cooler.
Yeah.
And then we also went over to the hair cuttery so I could get the new haircut, which I absolutely love.
I want to see.
I will post pictures, I promise.
Yay.
I'm going to have to pull them off the cell phone, but I will post pictures. If you're really lucky, I might be nice and post a picture of me in one of the new outfits, but we'll see how nice you are to me.
Aw, I have to be nice?
Yes.
Alright.
And then she took me out to Outback, which I've never been to Outback before, but it was good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, she told me the entire day I was not allowed to look at a single, price tag or pay attention to anything as far as cost, which is kind of nice for a change, I'll be honest. We don't do that very often. So I wouldn't say I went overboard, but I did get, a really good steak, and I enjoyed myself. It was nice.
Good.
Yes.
You deserve enjoy yourself every once in a while, especially with the stress you've been under lately.
Oh my gosh, overtime. We were not allowed to say the O word actually between now and the first vacation.
You guys need it.
Although I will say, Holly had to break down and actually get the desktop, or her desktop. Her computer, her computer has had to do 3 hard drive repairs in less than a month.
That's when I would just format it and say goodbye.
She's basically going to reformat it, and then it's going to be not necessarily a backup laptop, but it's going to just be used until the video card dies, because that's what we think is going out. So mostly it's going to be our laptop that we keep over by the TV, so we have something to stream movies and things like that.
Yeah.
And then she's going to have the desktop for work. And then, of course, eventually we're going to get mine as well. We're basically going to work some overtime between the February trip and the June trip to both buy my laptop, also take care of the cat situation. Which...
Just
Oh,
for
go ahead.
info, there's a refurbished laptop on Tiger for $286, which it's a really good gaming available laptop.
Okay.
Just I know that was one of your big things, is the cost of it. So
yeah, what really bothers me is I just bought this laptop. Like, this laptop is about a year old actually this month, and I won't say that it's doing badly, but I mean, it's already... I was using it for probably maybe a half hour when I got home, and it shut down on me. I have no idea why. It's, for whatever reason, Toshiba laptops just have this, like, invisible off button, and you twist it and turn it a certain way and look at it funny, and it just turns off.
what I've noticed with laptops, and this is another reason why I'm struggling on getting a laptop as well, even though it'd be very useful for me, it has a sensor in the part where you put the charger, and that sensor, because people use a laptop as a laptop, that sensor goes out so easily. And so because that goes out, it can eventually get to the point where you can't charge it anymore, and it starts turning itself off randomly like that.
Good point.
I've had 3, I want to say, laptops that do that, and it just drives me nuts.
Good point. Good to know. I mean, laptops are a quick fix for us, especially for work. Because, I mean, they're usually, like, a lot cheaper than desktops, but they're also, especially, like, around Cyber Monday and some of the other holidays that pop up, you can usually get a laptop for a really cheap amount. Problem is they only last about 1 or 2 years before either the hardware needs upgraded, it starts to die, something on it goes out, and it's a lot, in most cases, it's a lot more cost effective just to buy another one. Although I will say with our plan from work, it's a little bit more reasonable to get it repaired, right. But one of my biggest things is I want another Mac. I know you're probably going to hate me for that, but I really want
to talk to you. I don't even talk about it.
You are so mean to my poor little Datey. Yes, his name is Datey.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so our first episode here is over. I did finish the game, and we're a little bit over the time frame we talked to. So we're going to go ahead and end the episode here, and then I should have another one up for you tomorrow. I hope everyone has a good day.
Yep, everyone have an awesome day.